One of the greatest pleasures is traveling, visiting different countries and getting acquainted with the local population, their culture and history. A true pilgrim spirit is constantly looking to discover something new, something unknown. The god is believed to have given everything to this land while creating the world: fertile soil, blue lakes, high mountains. And it was this very place where Ukraine appeared a little bit later. Ukraine is known by its tragic and noble history, splendid nature, hospitable people. Ukraine is associated to wise chroniclers, Cossack sword sounds, great Taras Shevchenko, St. Sophia's Cathedral, Golden Domed Kiev, the famous brothers Klitschko, heroic Maidan, where the Ukrainians fought for their freedom, dignity and European values. Ukraine is the land of intangible steppes, of motley grasses, of fertile black earth, blue deep lakes, may beetles over the cherry trees, heady lovage and mint, yellow sunflowers in the fields. Ukraine is a unique culture with its spiritual symbol Kiev-Pечерsk Lavra. Ukraine is a tender lyric song, an embroidered towel at the icon corner, a magic Easter egg. But overall, Ukraine is its hard-working, kind, open-minded people that love all this beauty, respect their history, and honor their ancestors' spiritual treasures.
Соколиний хутір – колиска і душа України. Козацький хутір, шаблі та рушниці, і гетьмана Мазепи булава, і сокіл ясний, горда вільна птиця, грудьми повітря сині розрива. Мій рідний краю, хутір соколиний, зберіг я в серці щирі слова. Довіки слава рідній Україні, і українцям шана і хвала.
The Bowery village of Petrushivka is situated in the eastern southern part of the Chernigiv region in Ichnyansky district, 7 kilometers distance from the town Parafivka. It is connected with the district center by the waterway, and the distance from it to Kiev and Chernigiv is almost the same, 180 kilometers. The Bowery is situated in the zone of left bank forest steppe in the Dnieper region that spreads east of the Dnieper River from the Pridniprovska lowland to Poltava plain. Not far from the Bowery, there are floodlands where the rivers Mosh, Lisogirka, Uday, Oster have their origin. The proper Bowery is situated on the river Smosh. The historical roots of Petrushivka go back to the epoch of Chernigiv Principality. After that, it was a property of Ukrainian hetman Ivan Stepanovich Mazepa. The advantageous location of the Bowery, that is surrounded by forests, big lakes, bogs, ravines, give the charm and the spiritual force to everybody who comes to recreate there. The local forest is the home for boars, goats, wolves, badgers, foxes, hares, raccoon dogs. In the local waters also live crowfish, turtles, pikes, perches, crucian carps, mirror carps, ink, red eyes. It is known that Petrushivka and the nearby villages Vlasivka and Kachanivka were visited by the famous artist Ilya Repin when he was painting his picture Reply of the Zaporozhian Cossack to the Turkish Sultan. Also, according to the local storyteller Hanna Topchi, it was in this very place that inspired the famous Ukrainian writer Marko Vovchok to collect the material for her first collection of fairy tales and legends. The village of Petrushivka was also glorified to be the famous fighter pilot's brothers, Garam. All the four of them were in the air regiment that was fearlessly fighting against German pilots during the Second World War. Here, in the village of Lasivka, the famous Ukrainian chieftain Yevgen Petrovich Angel was born. He was one of the leaders of the insurrectionary movement in 1918-1919, commanding the detachment Red Curing of Death that had 5,000 soldiers and was fighting against the Bolsheviks, defending the peasants. Entering the Hague Bowery, you will unexpectedly get in the ancient street of the Cossack epoch that reflects all the historical, ethnographical, and everyday life peculiarities of those days. Everything you meet here is authentic, real, wells with wagons and wicker fences, where the jugs are put to drain. There are marigolds growing aside the fences, and the Cossacks with the picturesque moustache, wearing white trousers, strolling around the village. Looks as if you find yourself in the past centuries. Many years ago, the Chumaks, Ukrainian salt traders, were met here in these streets when they were back home from Crimea. It was here in these streets where the Cossacks were set off at war or at the trip to the Zaporozhian siege. It was here where the lovers were strolling and where the air was filled with the dragging Ukrainian songs from the traditional gatherings called Вечорниці. The villas where the visitors live are situated near the big lake, are equipped with a parking zone that is very comfortable. Some years ago they were all half-ruined and neglected, and only due to efforts of the Cherep family, the owners of this touristic complex, they were restored and rebuilt, and are looking now at the antiquity pearls that have everything our ancestors had: homespun carpets, soft linen bed sheets, holy pictures with icing lamps at the corner, traditional stove, bunches of aromatic meadow plants. What a sweet dream one may have here! Every villa has its own traits and its own hospitality. There are 2 of 6 villas that have the environmental leveling certificate Green House. They are the coachman's house and the pen pusher's house, whose interior environment reflects financial possibilities of that epoch, from a poor rural inhabitant to a rich Cossack. There are wide yards near the houses, cherry orchards, outdoor grills for preparing meat. There are specially equipped open sky places for making fire that give the opportunity to hide away with your family, listening to the silence of this daydreamed land and appreciating the eternal calmness and balance. Land parcels that are near the villas facing the waters are sowed with meadow grass and with honey plants every 4 years to keep the natural ecological balance reconciled with human living. There are many wooden sculptures of the fairy tale characters that are the elements of setting for taking photos. The main idea of organization of such a tourist resort is revival of Cossacks' traditions and handcrafts, and popularization of Cossacks' martial art. Just at this spot, one starts to realize who he is and who his ancestors are. Just at the Hague Bowery, one returns to his origin, to his roots. Men and teenagers that are thought to be real Cossacks have the opportunity to prove this. They can take part in Cossacks' plaything, try archery or gunfire, try their hands in a sword or saber, have a horse ride, take part in costumed rituals on Holy Theophany, Crab Week, Midsummer Day. There is also a horse theater. Visitors of various ages are able to come to see bow owners' tables, to take a turn on a cart, to have lessons on riding a horse, to contact our four-leg friends that are known to influence positively our health due to the strong emotional charge of force and kindness they have. One of the villas has a historical and ethnographical museum whose showpieces are rare archetypes of Tripolian culture, holy pictures, craftsman works. Not far from the whole Bavary, there are historical places of nationwide scale, such as National Resort Kachanivka, Museum of the composer Levko Revutsky, village Irzhavets, and Arboretum Trostянець Ivan Mikhailovich Skoropadsky Manor, 22 kilometers, Gnat Galagan Manor, Sokoliniy, 38 kilometers, Wustin Holy Trinity Women Convent, built on the lands of the Dukes Vishnevetsky, and the furthest object of tourist attraction that is Baturin, the first hetman capital of Ukraine. There is a pottery and smith master classes here, and children as well as adults are welcome to assist them. Here you will be taught to look after bees, to shoot with a bow, to cook traditional Cossack kulish or fish broth, and will get acquainted with other secrets of traditional Ukrainian folk cuisine. All the tourists are met according to the best traditions of Ukrainian hospitality, with a bread and salt tribute, with meat. Afterwards, they are fed in a local pub, as Ukrainians believe that a high-quality food is a great source of energy and power. All the dishes are prepared by skillful lady cooks according to the ancient recipes in the traditional roka stoves. They are Ukrainian borscht, Cossack kulish, cottage cheese and poppy seed dumplings, baked Cossack potatoes with brined cucumbers and tomatoes. There are also traditional beverages such as compotes, stewed fruits, jelly-like soft drinks, and heady fresh cucumber and plant-free liqueur, homemade wines. Much attention is paid to tisanes and common use, made using locally growing plants. Such services and activities as accommodation, food and beverage, excursions to the local ethnography museum, boating on a real Cossack's boat, a stylish good-looker, charakternik, are at visitors' disposal. There is also a possibility to visit a Cossack bathhouse in order to clean one's body, to relieve stress and to improve health. The deck chairs are covered by fragrant meadow hay that makes the health and leisure effect complete. Everybody knows that bath stimulates our bodies, improves working ability, and cheers us up. The flow of visitors is growing from year to year. Among those who come here are architects, writers and artists, Cossacks from all over Ukraine, young followers of Cossacks traditions, numerous foreign delegations. Various festivities such as traditional folk celebrations, office parties, family holidays and solemnities are celebrated here. People from all over the country like to spend their vacations here. Newly wedded couples have their honeymoons here. Businessmen have here their meetings. Other people celebrate their weddings with the participation of Cossacks. This is the place the Ukrainian bring their foreign friends to see a real Ukraine. The whole Bavary welcomes to couples, families, students and tourist groups from 10 till 150 at one whole, providing them with food, beverages and recreation services. To the attention of the visitors are photos taken by Bowery's owner, Mr. Mykola Cherep. Many of them were exhibited in Ukraine and abroad. These original photos reveal the Ukrainian rural life in different epochs, show the visitors the history of Ukrainian Cossacks, and highlight the Ukrainian culture. The Cossacks living here and their horses take part in historical film shootings and participate in famous historical event reconstructions. During 12 years of their work here, the Cherep family has got more than 70 awards in ecotourism area, among which are medals, certificates in the sphere of tourism and business, and in photography art. In 2014, the Hog Bowery has got the diploma for the best Cossack settlement in Ukraine. The Hog Bowery is a real miracle, totally different historical dimensions of our modernity. It's a mysterious, historical and sacred world. There is everything there. A solemn music of banduras and tenderly sad flute songs, Cossacks' banners and gonfalons, swords sound and eternal Milky Way. This world breaks our national code, reveals to us the sense of our living and gives us the land that we sometimes forget about, hassled by solving day-to-day problems. This world is much more kind and much more true than the world we are living in. The Hog Bowery is open all year round. You are always welcome here.